Hello, welcome back, everybody, to the first 2025 edition of Inside Icon. It's me, David, with our favorite co host on the planet, Fez. And thanks to all of you for checking in today. We're going to talk about Icon. We're talking about Hana Wallet in particular. But first, we're going to talk about Fez. Fez, how have you been and how have the holidays been?
Yeah, good man. It was a crazy year. Right at the start of Jan, took a couple of weeks break. That was good, very much needed. Back again. I think I had a holiday. It's a vague memory already, but good to be back.
Why was this a crazy year?
2024. Oh,
Yeah.
I, I mean, I feel like technically we accomplished a lot and
Yeah.
proved kind of thrown down the this technical baggage we had where we just kept getting stuck and unable to
Hmm.
deliver.
Yeah.
I feel like we've proved we've won. Rook posted this great thing: 2 chains, April, and at the end we're up to 12.
Yes.
And you know, I haven't done. I wanted to do a tweet, kind of going, "This is all the stuff we accomplished." And one thing I feel, and this is not just like, "Yeah, we're amazing." It's not that. I think it's more the the most challenging part of what we accomplished in 2024 was we didn't connect 12 EVM chains, and I feel this may be lost. Like once we built the EVM tech, we could have gone and just gone, yeah, linear. Let's connect just all these L2s, and we could have had 25 chains under our belt, like in months. Okay,
Yep. Yep.
that's not what we did. Like, yeah, we got the two big players, Base and Arbitrum, got Optimism in there, but not much activity. But the accomplishment is the amount of varied tech stacks we've put together in that short time frame. And
Yeah.
like Sui Solana, like you see now, the biggest players have been working on some of these for months before they've integrated.
Yeah.
So for me, that is a sense of achievement. But it's a bittersweet piece, if I'm being very honest here. Like, it's great. We got our tech stuff, we got all this in order. Unfortunately, we didn't have the liquidity yet to match the accomplishments of shipping finally. Like, yeah, we
Hmm.
got Solana out, but there's just not enough liquidity to warrant any decent sized trading amounts. And things like that, which probably block us from doing something we generally struggle with, marketing. But even if you do this large push of marketing and gain users and they can't do substantial trades, it's just then going to have a bad time, David. You're going to have a bad time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, so yeah, like, so I tend to, okay, let's just ignore that for now. What we did get our tech stack in order. We got a delivery, we got shipping. We know we can do it. And that was a sense of achievement. And, huge effort from the team and our partners who kind of worked all the time constantly to deliver. And then obviously we had issues, but as time went on, I'm sure everyone noticed just how much more stable everything was getting with the integrations. Because the other learning factor for me was you do all this work, you do all this testing, you do everything, and then when it's on mainnet, some it just doesn't work the way the test nets
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
That's why
And
that famous we test in prod.
it's such an iterative process. It's not just the tech that works on all test nets and then goes live, and then you might run into struggles, have to fix them, see stuff that you hadn't seen before. But even afterwards, when you bring the product to the market, when you bring the product to potential partners,
Mm.
let's get aggregators or whatever, even there you'll still run into new challenges. Maybe you don't have enough liquidity to even be
Mm.
considered. Maybe
Mm.
you're not fast enough or cheap enough to for people to use you. They then you go back to the drawing board and you're like, okay, we got this far now,
Mm.
got all this work done. We need to make even more improvements to hop that hurdle, and
Yeah.
that's what's happening a lot, and it's less visible. when we connect to a chain, it's so visible, right? You pop up your
Mm.
chain logos, you tap into other communities, maybe have them, retweet. Other foundations are happy. They're like, hey, this new product. We pop up on DeFi Llama. We're getting tracked across all these blockchains.
Yeah.
Community accounts are tweeting. That's so visible that when that kind of stops because you're not integrating a new chain, but you're doing other even more important work on
Mm.
the whole machine, it might look like nothing's happening, but a lot is happening. And I guess I'm leading into maybe the intense type of
Yeah. Yeah. And
stuff that we've been looking
no,
at.
yeah, and that is a great, exactly it, right? Like we've shipped, we've done, okay, the liquidity problem, we're building a way to resolve that. That's why I kind of, I gave these honest updates about V3 and why it stalled and why we haven't pushed forward, because we found a better way. And um, you know, we were very aggressive. I think in December I gave a 6 week. We missed it by a week, which was a shame. But we shipped it, and you can try it right now, like Sui to Arbitrum, between $100 to $5,000 swap, 5 seconds.
Yeah.
You will get it, and you're getting the best rates, David. Like and it's a beautiful thing, and something I will talk. This is kind of what I wanted to spend time talking about today in the podcast. A little later, we'll tackle a few Hana things first. But yes, you highlighted it brilliantly. Like we know the problem, we've fixed this, but we're also addressing this problem, and the next 3 months of the new year is not going to be new chain integrations while we could just keep shipping. It's going to be we've got these 12, we've got this unique tech stack. Let's now fix this intense piece across our tech stack to make
Yeah.
liquidity work. Like suddenly $20,000 in liquidity is like
Yeah.
$10,000 trades with no worry of slippage and stuff like that. So yeah, exciting
I,
time.
I love I love it so much. The intent based trading. For anyone listening in who's not familiar with it, could you give like a explain it like I'm five?
Oh god. I do. Okay, I'll try. Ooh, ooh. No, I can't.
Explain it like I'm eight. I'll try. Let me try.
Yeah, go.
Um, in the previous version, or in the current version, the Uniswap V2 model, they might call
Mm,
it, or the simply AMM pools. When you come to swap, whether it's same chain or cross chain, you're dipping into a pool. You're putting some of one token in, and you're taking out some of the other token. So the
mm,
size of your swap is dependent on how big that pool is.
mm,
Because if the pool is small and you want to do a very big swap, then the ratio is just going to shift so much that the
mm,
calculated price that comes out of that for a token shifts as well. It just gives you an inefficient trade. And with intent based trading, as a user, you rock up and you say, "Hey, I want to trade this amount of this token at the market price,"
mm,
and a third party essentially just says, "Yeah, that's fine." They assume the risk. They give you that trade, so you're a happy chappy. You walk off within 5 seconds with your newly traded funds on a
mm,
different chain, and it's actually that third party that then in the background goes ahead and settles his own books,
mm,
or makes the trade in a certain way, and what they try to do is do it so efficiently that they actually turn a little profit, and then if
mhm.
they do that often enough, they can pay for their Lambos. So in our case, we are not only the balanced, we're not only the DEX, but we are also the third party. So we're also taking that away. Am I right?
Yes, yeah, that's the, yeah, bingo.
And then, is it accurate to say that the profits there or the fees incurred there also go towards burning ICX?
Yeah, so the ratio in the fees is, oh, the fee split is the same.
Yeah,
I guess the biggest difference would probably be like on the with the LP pools, it's a flat 0.3%, 0.30% fee in total, right? And then that gets distributed. Um, Half of that goes in back into the LP, and then the other half is split between, etc., etc. So uh, with using intents because it's the third party, and in this instance, the third party is the solver we've built, the Icon network has built,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
which holds NOL. This is what's kind of settling the trades. So
Hmm.
um, for that, and the way it settles and the way it quotes a trade is not based on a flat 0.3% fee. It will, kind of give a quote based on the best rate it is able to balance itself back. And
Right.
and that's the beauty of it, because the way it balances itself is it uses, at the moment, not balanced, but it uses the leading DEX with the highest TVL on specific chains. So on Sui, for example, when more Sui comes into the solver, because if someone's swapping from Sui to ETH, they're getting the quote, they go, yep, swap. The solver, which is the third party, the Icon Network solver, third party, is going, yep, release the ETH on the other side, then gets the extra Sui, and it's sitting there going, now I have this extra Sui and I have less ETH, but I need this balanced. And what it will do is then use Cetus and balance using concentrated liquidity. So it's getting, which has a ton of liquidity. So it's getting an excellent rate on the swap. And then it's built to do bridging and rebalance self on ETH, which
Yeah,
is using Uniswap v3, but ton of liquidity there, way more than balance. And it's lower in fees because of concentrated and all that
yeah,
jazz. Anyway, the end goal is it's giving you this swap far more efficiently than currently Balance can do through its LPs, while
yeah,
charging a fee which is not 0.3%. It would be maybe whatever it is to break even plus a small percentage on top, and that small percentage on top is what can
got
burns
it.
ICX.
Yeah. And
Mm.
so then if we rewind a little bit back in the AMM model on a DEX, you're kind of dependent on having these big pools
Mm.
for every token pair you can imagine to make them tradable,
Yeah.
kinda, right? Sometimes you can route through different pools to get from one token to the other, but that's just having to make multiple trades where one trade would be more efficient. And with these intents, you no longer need to have royally filled liquidity pools for every trading pair because it's the solver who's taking on the risk, and it's up to them to go and rebalance their books possibly elsewhere, possibly on an external platform. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's important to know, like, the solver, and we're a solver. The Icon Network is building. We've been building our own solver. They're competing solvers. They
Hmm.
all the solvers have to rebalance their books, right? So it's a LPs, Dexes. They're not going anywhere. Um, it's just kind of now more you'll start to see is these Dex has become far more efficient because they don't need to hold, like, on balance right now we have BTC slash BNUSD and all these things, primary assets. But I would argue that we at some point, to be far more efficient with NOL, we would only need something like BTC, BNUSD, ETH, BNUSD, and a couple of others, like three, and have those more concentrated, so that when the solver is resolving itself, if it has more BNUSD, for example, it doesn't need BNUSD to SUI. If it has a far more efficient liquidity pool that is, got 20, 30 million, it would be able to rebalance itself at cheaper rate. So
Yeah.
what I'm trying to get at here is, like, as for us, it solved two things, right? It's solved a speed issue. It's just much faster for the end user. The second issue is liquidity, right? Like, at the moment, and let's use Sol as an example. I can't remember. I think we have $200,000 liquidity, right? 100 on each
Mhm.
side. Um,
Yep.
right now, I think if you went to do like a $5,000 swap, you'll see massive slippage, right? It's just not efficient. But if I
Yeah.
were to pull that liquidity out, we don't have any a Sol LP, and just take the $100,000 we have on in Sol and just put that into the solver as $100,000 in Sol. We could support the solver will get integrated into Radium and a couple other dexes on Solana. We could support a $90,000 trade.
Yep.
Like we wouldn't do it. That's
Hmm.
hypothetical. We'd do 50,000, right? And we would
Hmm.
have no slippage, or the max slippage you would feel on that is what the native decks would have slippage on them based on the rate the solver pulls, right? And that's the
Yep.
key difference. So, but at the same time, we're not going to stop stacking some of these primary assets. It gives us more time to gather more liquidity to then become more efficient ourselves, or just do other things with it, like through the solver. Like the more liquidity we have of each asset, it just enables us to offer a far bigger trade optimized trade size for people who
Hmm.
do want to trade like whales. So yeah,
Yeah.
these are kind of the two problems it instantly addresses for us. And I encourage everyone, like Sui and Arbitrum, there's a lot of refinement to be done, but the goal was to push us out to show. And on balance, if you go and you pick these two assets, and in the little box, if you drop down, it tells you the fees. You'll instantly tell if it's an intent, because all those fees and slippage and everything goes to zero.
Mm.
If you do like a $5 trade, it won't be an intent trade, because sometimes for very tiny trades, the pools are just a better rate, and it's going to give you via the pools. But if you start to go above the $100, it will automatically opt in for an intent, and you can just see how quick and efficient it is
Yeah.
in terms of
Yeah.
pricing and slippage.
So if a user listening wants to make an intent-based trade on balance right now, you would
Mm.
recommend trading some SUI for ETH or the other way around, and just kind of playing the numbers, maybe up to $50 worth of trade. It would give you the
I think
intent.
over 100. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe try 50, but I know 100% over 100. Like the way
Yeah.
currently it's designed is it is to give the user the best rate. So sometimes you may do, like, I know for me when I was testing, I went to 150 and the intent trade wasn't coming up. And the reason why was, well, if the pool is not balanced, or not showing the correct price, hasn't been arbed yet, and the pool is giving you a better rate,
Yeah.
then it's going to go through the pool. So in these instances, like if you're a trader, you're always going to get the best. So if the pool's been arbed, and what it implies is, like, if our pools are giving a better swap to the user than the Cetus pool for the same asset, or the Uniswap 3 pool on Arbitrum for the same
Yes.
asset, it'll use our pools.
Yeah.
But usually, when what happens is, as you start to climb, like maybe at 100, maybe at 150, if the pool hasn't been arbed, maybe at 200, but at 500, most definitely due to slippage, because we don't have as much liquidity as the big players, it'll always pick the intent, because then that is a better route and it can settle itself and get a better rate. So that's kind of explaining to you how it switches back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we're looking at the network acquiring liquidity. We've been doing so since January 2024. That's a given. That's happening. And the next part is us, putting that liquidity to good use, having
Mm.
it burn as much ICX as possible by putting it to work. And it sounds a lot like intent-based trading is putting that liquidity to work harder than ever. Like we've been putting it to work in the AMM pools.
Mm.
It's been burning at a certain rate, and now we're kind of, I guess, innovating on that. And with the
Yep.
intent-based trading, we're able to put that NOL to more effective work.
Yes, it's not happening at the moment though. So I think it's very important for everyone to realize, like, what we've shown is through intent base, we can use our capital far more efficiently, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but at the moment, it still isn't being used efficiently, because all our capital is locked in this liquidity pool that is generating revenue through arbitrage and trades. What though we've proved is, yes, it is faster, capital efficient. We know that. So now the next phase, this next 3 months, is about, okay, what work do we have to do to unlock the NOL, to make it more capital efficient and um, accessible
Yeah.
to a suite of products,
Yeah.
not hindering anyone or anything, right? Like we want to be able to double tap, triple tap in a
Yeah.
safe way for whatever it may be. Um, and
Yep.
that's kind of that next 3 months of our phase is solely focused on
Yeah.
removing technical debt or technical pieces from infrastructure, like not technical. Technical is the wrong word. Complicated code, like what we just don't need. Some of the learnings are taken away, refining that, and yeah, getting the intense piece more robust so that it can actually better use our network owned liquidity.
And overall, that is something that is less visible, but
It is
more
because
important than ever.
yeah, yeah. I think because every second day you're not hearing a new chain um, integration. But on that front, I think what we will do is there'll be new chains in the form of new intents, new chains that support intent. So right now we're working on Solana, we're working on Icon, we're working on Stellar. So you'll start to see no new chains get added for a short period of time, but more chains support intent-based trades. One, and the second part that you'll start to see in the next 3 months, and something to get I'm pretty excited about, is thanks to the solver, we'll be able to actually increase the tokens balance can offer to swap. So, like for example, the next wave of tokens at the moment we support a bunch of SWI LSTs and a bunch of BTC variants and ETH LSTs. You will soon be able to now mint BNUSD with them, but also just actually swap between the pairs on chains or on the same chain. So you'll be able to swap ETH to WETH on
Yeah.
balanced. And yeah, we don't have LPs or anything, but it's getting the best rate. It's getting the rate from
Yeah.
Uniswap 3 from one of the LPs.
Very good.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that will be more intense, and then existing chains, main assets will start adding these to balance, so that balance becomes your one-stop shop.
Class. So are you telling me that if I have like assets on 10 different blockchains, I need 10 different blockchain wallets?
No, I would never say that because I would just be using Hana. But yeah, each to their own.
Let's talk
You're a
about
sucker
Hana.
if you got 10 wallets.
I think I still have 10 wallets though across the board. A lot of
Sucker
testing
alert.
and
Oh yeah, yes, testing. No, I take that back. Yes, you need that for testing.
it's always good to see what's up, in these other wallets. What are they doing? What's working well and what isn't? So if you've made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe. I always forget to ask this, and now we're halfway, I guess, maybe a bit closer towards the end. But drop us a comment. Tell us what you think about the intent-based trading that's coming up, and the work to make the NOL more efficient. I'm very happy with that. Hana Wallet has
Mm.
had a couple of fun weeks. We ran a 12 Days of Christmas campaign over the holidays, where we were essentially just running our newly built airdropping feature to our
Mm.
community. Users would sign up to our newsletter, and every day for 12 days get an email with a button to click. And if you got lucky, you'd click the button, it opens up your wallet, and you get airdropped, tokens. We've given away about 5 grand worth of Icon,
Oh.
BNUSD, stable dollar, and Stellar over the course of 12 days, and took a lot of learnings from that. The community is great. They rock up into our support chat or in the Discord and tell us what they think, and it's
Mm.
actionable and we can improve. On day 8, we had gotten enough feedback that people were so fed up of not winning that we decided to let everyone who was participating win, um, which did push up our marketing spend, but that was fun. I got a lot of happy messages of people finally opening up to, the confetti coming down with a
Yeah, yeah.
successful claimed airdrop. And I must say that I enjoyed it myself as well, because I hadn't gotten lucky till then either. Uh, so that was fun. On the flip side of that, we battled a wave of spammers who started, signing up with verified addresses, spoofing them because they were kind of banking on another everyone wins scenario. But we actively, track those down and removed. So I guess we can look back on a happy and good holiday campaign, a first for Hana, but definitely not the last. So
Mm.
yeah, if you didn't participate or if you're interested, definitely sign up to our newsletter on our website. Download the app, and yeah, just stay in the loop like that. And overall, I guess 2024 was a transformative year for this multi-chain wallet, especially on
Mm.
mobile. The user
Oh yeah.
experience went from a maybe a 4 to a 8. Always room for improvement. Out of 10, that is.
Okay. For a second, I thought,
In
does he mean
wallet,
100?
no, and we're not done. We're so not done.
Mm.
There's so much improvements lined up. Learnings that we've taken from these first like rounds of iterations. We're going to bring the new interface to desktop.
Oh,
We've
good.
been wanting to bring the wallet on desktop to the side panel as well, or at least give users that choice. That's on the long list of HANA wallet improvements that you might find in UI and UX in 2025.
Mm.
And then in short, next month we're going to be at Consensus in Hong Kong
Yeah.
with the HANA Wallet team, uh, physically dropping airdrop cards to visitors
Mm.
and users at the conference. Spreading the good word and seeing if we can get people excited about the product, but also meeting a lot of potential applications to work with, because further down the line what we'd love to see is apps using the HANA wallet infrastructure, for example the airdrops, to run their own token giveaways
Mm.
without any infrastructure overhead. They don't have to build anything. Like, we will facilitate that. That way we can kind of collaborate with all these applications that are accessible with HANA Wallet across all these different chains, on the go in our amazing mobile browser. So yeah, looking forward to that as well. And yeah, I guess if you have any questions, Fez, I probably have an answer.
So how successful was the camp? What, I guess, with the campaign 12 Days of Christmas, what was the specific goal around it?
The goal was to reward our community for sticking
Mm-hmm.
with us,
Mm-hmm.
and to have them join our, let's call it, newsletter environment,
Okay.
because the way we communicate, uh, we've moved away from just posting every now and then on X, towards having a more well-rounded distribution of our news, including email,
Mm.
and getting the ability to email our followers with not only news but also giveaways or product updates is very valuable. So we were hoping that we could combine the
So
rewarding of our community with getting
did
them
we
to
get a
sign
lot
up.
of did we get a lot of signups?
Thousands. um
Damn. Okay, good. Lead with that
but
next time.
and then we had to clean up, and
Oh,
then
right, right.
and no, we had to remove, I'd say 40%. We nearly hit 2,000 subscribers that we would consider valuable and real, and over time we'll see
Mm.
how that stabilizes as we continue. But for people who would think about unsubscribing after the campaign, I
Mm.
would generally consider that an unwise move, seeing as we've got a lot more coming and a lot more planned. So it's better to stay
Ooh,
in the loop,
okay, okay.
and we don't overload people either. Like, we're not
Yeah,
sending out emails every day like you see with other companies that you may may have had in your inbox. So yeah,
yeah.
there's that. So we're quite happy with that.
Okay. Yeah, I think overall my observation has been, yeah, I'm using Hana on the mobile now. I never did. Um, Actually, I got a bit of a sneak because I'm in Australia and there's a debit card feature that's being worked on. It shouldn't be a surprise. But I actually am testing it at the moment, and I think the mobile build has it, but you can't do anything with it at the moment.
Correct. Yeah.
But I got a code, David. I got a code, and I've loaded it. I've got it done the KYC process, and I haven't actually gone out and used it, but I've got the card. It issues it. I can add it to Google Pay, and I'm going to go out and test it. So feedback. So
Yeah.
that's coming, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Strictly in the Australian region at the start, but I'm sure that will expand.
Yeah, one point of attention is the on and off ramping experience around the Hana wallet. It's
Mm,
amazing for staying decentralized and swapping from one chain to the other. We offer all that functionality. We have an on ramping method with a partner called Simplex, where you can essentially purchase any crypto with a credit card.
mm,
And this debit card that you're talking about that works in your Apple Pay is a form of off ramping where you can go into a store and pay with the crypto in your wallet, so you can actually
mm,
start using it in real life. And that's the goal. That's the dream. So it's a very valuable pilot, and like you said, it's not accessible for everyone. Our debit card issuing partner is based in Australia, which is where we are completely compliant, and now testing
mm,
out this feature. A lot has been built in the background for it, and as soon as we're happy with the results, we'd be able to scale that around. So yeah, off ramping and on ramping, all within Hana Wallet without needing, a centralized exchange. Uh, is a part of the feature set of Hana Wallet that we're working towards in
mm.
2025. So excited for that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, love it. I think you're right. Consensus, Hong Kong. We're going. Uh, we'll be at the conference. A lot of networking, not just for Hannah. Obviously going to be
Mm.
Icon, Balanced. Got a couple other team members going, but the entire Hannah team's going up there to also work together. I mean, for everyone, I don't know. I like to hear stuff like this. I used to, being on the other side. Like it's no secret that all the teams we're not in the same place, right? We're all in different countries. So one of the goals around the Hana piece when we go to Hong Kong is actually getting the core leaders in the Hana space together and actually spending a few days working together day to day so that we can think and plan and do things, which gets hindered due to time zones. Oh.
It's asynchronous working.
Oh, yes, no, don't.
You love it and you hate it, but it's very valuable to be in the same room for an extended period of time and just indeed
Totally.
talk through stuff, bounce stuff off of each other, get everything settled, get all the heads pointed in the same direction, and um, yeah, from there on go. So that's highly valuable, and I'm very happy that it's happening this soon in the year as well,
Mm,
so that we can just keep churning on, chugging along, powering
mm.
through. What other euphemisms do we have? Rocketing,
That's all. Right.
rocketing up.
Uh, yeah. Um, yeah, cool. Okay. I think then since we went into details about intents and kind of covered that, the game plan, David, was we'll talk about Hannah first and come down to the rest of the conversations. But we got stuck on intents is just like a cool topic to talk about. So
It
um,
is, and I'm not mad because I guess Hana is a portal, is an access
mm,
point to balanced to other products that may burn ICX in the future. So I don't mind talking about the products first and then talking about the
mm,
access points. I guess one of the things that Hana is trying to do is, we talk about intent-based trading and that becoming available on balanced. It After it's available on balanced, it's working, it's running. We want to make it available in Hana, but in a native way. So
mm,
not that a user has to go to the in wallet browser, visit balanced there, and make the intent based swaps. He can, and any Web3 native will happily do so. But there's a enormous audience out there of people who are used to apps and are used to Web 2, and they might want to make an intent based swap, but they don't even know what intent based swaps are. Those people need a simplified swap
mm,
interface where all of the heavy lifting is done under the hood. and at the surface it just seems like such a flawless and cute centralized experience, seemingly. So that's what Hana swaps does. When you're in the Hana app, you can swap cross chain. It's all powered by Balanced, but in Hana, you don't necessarily realize that, and the swapping experience is very accessible. It's very Robin Hood like. Like Web2 apps have got that. On lock. So that is where we like the intent-based trades, any token, any chain, to bubble up in the Hana app and make that available for users on the go. So on your mobile phones, on your folding phones, your tablets, your smartwatch, maybe in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, not mad about the
I'm
order.
just
Happy that we got to talk about the swapping developments first too.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think as we wrap up, what I did want to, I think some couple of things that didn't get highlighted last year, and just some updates about the foundation itself, or more who's at the foundation. So, uh, we hear Min, which next month we'll get Min on, David. I think everyone's had enough of you and me just giving updates. Let's get Min back
Same.
on,
Yeah.
and some of the other team members as well. But just on that, so Min's always said, if we have talent, we're onboarding, and we still continue to expand the team, and that kept happening to the tail end of last year. So, if everyone didn't know, we onboarded this will be community people who've been around a while will know. Robbie from Protocol 7, I had actually been trying to onboard him onto the team to help us, because we're super focused on what we're building now, and we did have excellent builders in our ecosystem. Robbie was one of them. He shipped a bunch of products. Unfortunately, those products wound up because they didn't have a user base, and other what everyone saw happen, but didn't stop him. It wasn't because it was a poor product or built poorly. It was just we were siloed, and it hindered growth of such products. So anyway, great builders. The goal is to try and get these builders to keep helping us build so that we can accelerate and have that experience. So Robbie, I think in September started, got him on board. We're trying much earlier, but he was working in another space on other products, which actually turned out to be a blessing because it was in the field we've been building. So he bought a ton more experience and exposure working on a competing product in and what he was doing there in his skill set. And he's at the foundation now. He's been helping us build quite a lot of different things, which is great. So the team expanded there. Then another thing that people may not know, and I do want to confirm, another algo chain. People would have seen him in Balance's Discord. In the heyday algo chain ran, no one could beat him in arbitrage. If he ran an arbitrage bot, there was no hope. In fact, I think at some point everyone just gave up because if he was running a bot, no one could beat him. And after a while, he stopped. He went and started competing in the EVM space because he was just that good at building this stuff and understood it. Eventually, towards the tail end, he wound down, and we reached out, and actually he's on board. Since he's been with us now 3 months, and New Year, he's also onboarded on the foundation, who's been critical at helping us build the solver. That's why the solver was able to give excellent rates already. Even its first iteration, he really gets a space. Two more additional resources on the team since September last year, kind of that time frame. I don't believe anyone has known about it. I thought let's just get it out there just in case. This is on top of all the contractor teams, all this stuff. These are just we've onboarded into the foundation to keep helping push development. Yeah.
Well said.
And then finally on that, and this was not known while recruit. One thing on a sadder note, like Cyrus, who people may have been aware, he's been on the podcast, was at the foundation, has left the foundation. Cyrus was excellent. Like I relied on him heavily. He understood technical pieces end to end, and how practices, how they all talk, work. So I would always be going to him and powwowing to try and understand things. yeah, it was sad to hear in December when he said this would be, he'd been at the foundation for a while, and he's left. But yeah, still in touch. Everything's good. He just had other things he was super interested in working, and I'm already on the wait list for something he's building when it's
You are.
ready.
I
Oh
was
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
get on there.
I'm like, I am your tester. Just it's not crypto related. It's in the AI space. So, but
It is.
generally, it's sad, but I'm excited that he's doing something he's extremely passionate about, because at the end of the day, David, I feel that way about myself, and I'm sure you do. Like, I'm doing things, working in something that I'm extremely passionate about. So it doesn't feel like work at times, but um, it does get, yeah, it's I love doing it because I love it, if that makes
It's
sense. That's why it doesn't feel like a
yeah,
job.
because it's cool, Fez. It's cool.
Oh, that's right. I walk out after a 15-hour day going, man, I was so cool for the last 15 hours. um, yeah, so that's a bit of a few updates on the foundation front. Yeah.
Yeah. Well rounded out. I think we'll keep it short and snippy at 42 minutes
Oh,
today.
damn. Yeah. I got more
So
to
we got a
talk
little
about,
bit
David.
left. You what?
I got more to talk about, but look,
Uh,
let's end it. But I did want to paint a small picture and end it on that.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So through the time David and me have been talking, we talked about intents, and I've painted how the solver works. Um, and I want to start. We'll announce a few things soon, and we're not ready. Like, everyone's probably, what's the 2025 game plan? There is a big game plan, and we'll do a proper session around it, just like how when we did the strategy shift and we showed it, everyone knew. I'm very big on, as everyone's realized, like, I want to have it ready and then announce versus making fake promises. So stuff is underway, not just refinement, other things. So get excited. But the solver piece, what I wanted to paint this picture is, you know, one of the goals I was pushing is to get on aggregators. If we can get balanced on aggregators, that would be great. Oh, we could get all this additional because we'd be able to get quotes and things like that. That's still the game plan. Still trying. It's harder than envisioned. But one piece I like to compare Jumper Exchange, although recently they've put tweets, their bridger, their exchange. What they really are is a front end that is coordinating for bridging, swaps. They build they build and connect all these different bridges and AMMs and make it compatible so that, when a user picks the assets, whether it's a bridge, it automatically identifies it's a bridge, and then it gives an aggregated quote and shows you the 5 best platforms. Or if it's a swap, it will depend on the path, and it will show you what it's going to use for the swap, and it'll show you the 3 best rates it's getting, right? That's at its core. And you get to see that very visually, how that's going to happen. And if you decide you want to take that quote, you will pick the option and go, yep, I will do this swap. And then it will take those funds, and you can see it happening because it takes like 5 minutes. It'll swap it there, then it'll use the bridge, it'll do this confirmation, it'll do the until it ends up in your wallet, and you're like, oh, finally it came through, right? We actually are doing this ourselves. We're starting to build this, but this is happening in a very abstracted fashion. I've told you all how the solver works, right? So I gave you this jumper example. So when you're using balance, and as we start to implement intents to more chains, one, or on the same chains, like on Arbitrum, we've done Uniswap v3, we'll do Camelot, we'll do 1inch, we'll do a couple of others, what will happen is, just like you're seeing on Jumper Exchange, but on our side, you'll pick the asset, you'll pick the other asset. The solver will automatically, in the background, aggregate a quote from all the chains, all the AMMs we've integrated on that chain, pick the best price, and present it to you. And when you click it, instead of that happening across 5 minutes, it will happen instantly. You'll get your asset. And in the background, the solver will go and resolve its trade and rebalance itself. So the picture I want to paint, like, this is kind of what the product is going to start evolving into. And the liquidity component, as I said, it doesn't become a matter of we need billions of dollars in liquidity to be capital, offer compete the way our competitors. No, we just need an amount enough of the core assets to be able to, that's we can release the funds so the solver can then use these other liquidity sources to rebalance itself, and will automatically aggregate and give the best rate to our users, and we'll do it at a speed that our competition hasn't yet reached. They're catching up. Everyone's going to catch up, but that's kind of what we're
Quantum.
building. Yeah, quantum. But I hope that helps paint the picture of how Jumper Exchange as an aggregator acts, and how we will present something similar, but all the, like, at the end user, new users coming in, they want the best rate. They don't want to, well, I would argue they don't want to see 5 of the different things and then wait 5 minutes for the swap to happen. It's like, hey, I can see you have all these exchanges integrated. You put these, you're going to see the best rate based off these 6 exchanges on the blockchain. Hit swap, within 5 seconds, you have your asset. You're running off and doing your next degen thing. And
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That is a clear picture. I've used Jumper a lot, and I continue to do so
me too. And I'm
alongside.
not bagging him. I'm just
Yeah.
comparing how the flow would change a little bit from a user
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I've never, ever, ever picked the second or even the third option
Oh
when
yeah,
the
no,
fees
never.
get presented. I just like if I could save
But
5 cents but wait 20 minutes for that, like that's free money, bro. Just I'm picking the cheapest. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, but yeah, good explanation. Um,
Okay,
I'm
there
so
we go. I
excited
almost
for
got
us
us to the
to.
50. You're so
Oh yeah,
excited about?
for us to be able to facilitate this, and then more tokens across more chains, but especially the more tokens part. To provide that access to our user base is something that we wouldn't have envisioned happening so effectively back maybe this time last year. So
Mm,
uh, very good. And then obviously, once that's there, we're already looking ahead, like, what's next. So
mm.
I'd say a lot of ICX is going to get burned. And having said that, I think we can wrap up today.
Yep, let's do it. Okay. Good to chat, man. I'll see you in a month.
See you in a month. Any disclaimers you want to drop? Have you been giving any financial advice by any chance?
No, yes, that's true. Not financial advice. We're two guys who want to keep a community who have been waiting very patiently for progress and things like that updated on what we're building. So, obviously, I think at times people listen, David, and feel like we sound very bullish. I mean, we're excited, and it's hard not to be excited when you're seeing progress and you're loving what you're building. So, yeah, we're excited, yeah, keeping that in mind. Not financial advice. Really, just trying to get the information across as to what we've been doing, so everyone feels educated and well informed.
Word. Thanks, everyone. Like, subscribe, follow, share with family and friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.